guys, this is like my 17th attempt at fucking doing this post-concert vlog thing, but I'm hoping it'll be the last. I'm kinda, honestly, like, as much as I enjoy talking about my experiences with Weird Al, you know, I'm kind of honestly starting to get sick of rehashing this, at least for, you know, the camera. But, yeah, so, last week, from, what the fuck dates? From the 14th of September through the 19th of September, I was off on vacation. Well, actually, it was a little bit longer than till the 19th. I got back on the 21st, really early in the morning, like, right as the 21st was starting. But, I was off on vacation. I went to Laughlin, Nevada on a road trip to see the second-to-last show of the North American tour, or the North American leg of the tour, the Mandatory World Tour. And holy shit, guys. So, I apologize if this is a little bit scatterbrained. I'm still really just kind of, what the fuck? About, like, I'm having a real hard time, like, just wrapping my head around the fact that the stuff at the meet and greet happened, so, I'm also sick. Like, I'm coming, like, I'm just starting to finally get over what was probably a really bad sinus infection, and it kind of turned into my fucking chronic bronchitis, which, yeah. But, yeah, so, anyway, I left for Laughlin last Monday, which was September 14th, and I drove down to York, Nebraska that day, and then the next day I drove to Raton, or Raton, or however the fuck you pronounce that, New Mexico, by way of Colorado. And then the third day, I drove from whatever the fuck, however you pronounce that town name, to Laughlin, Nevada, where I stayed at the Harrah's Resort and Casino, which was also where the concert was, and yeah, so, the concert was on Friday, I arrived on Wednesday, and I didn't do a whole heck of a lot while I was down there, because, Tuesday into Wednesday I started getting sick, and then by Thursday I was so miserable I couldn't fucking move, and I mean, Wednesday night, I couldn't fucking do anything at all. Like, I was awake every 2 hours, like, unable to breathe. It was terrible. And honestly, knowing how sick I was, I kind of feel bad about going to the meet and greet after the concert. I also kind of feel bad about going to the concert because I probably ended up getting a bunch of people sick. But, I mean, it's over and done with now. I hope I didn't get Al sick. Like, honestly, I don't really care that much if I got other people sick, but I would feel real bad if I got him sick. Anyway, Friday was the concert, and I went to the pre-concert VIP party because I had bought mandatory, like, the Czar package tickets or whatever, which gets you, like, it gets you a pretty close seat, like, I think first 3 rows or first 5 rows or something like that, and then it gets you into the VIP party beforehand, which had, like, a costume contest and, like, a dance contest and a bunch of music and just a bunch of fans having fun and some snackies and whatever. And it also gets you a shirt, which I was wearing for, like, every other iteration of this vlog, but I'm not gonna deal with that editing crap right now. I can't. I'm so, like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so unable to actually put my thoughts together right now still. Like, I was hoping that if I waited a little bit to actually do this vlog, it would, like, like, I could maybe put my thoughts together a bit, but all I'm finding is that I'm starting to kind of forget details. Stop. I hate when my phone decides to go off while I'm, like, trying to fucking film, because then my videos get flagged. But, anyway. I went to the pre-show party, and I was definitely going in not expecting much, because I had a pretty fairly bad experience with the CID guy the last time I went to one of these things, and so I was pretty much expecting him to be a gigantic douchebag, just because that's kind of how he was at the last concert. And yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into my issues with the CID guy. I did in another iteration of this vlog, but I'm just not gonna, like, suffice it to say, at this point, I'm pretty neutral on him. People who actually were privy to the 19-minute post-concert vlog I did right after the Iowa concert, people who've seen that know what's up, or people who've seen the complaint letter, which I posted pretty much everywhere, know what's up, and I'm pretty sure the CID guy knows what's up, and so, yeah, I'm not going to go too far into it, but suffice it to say, there was some shit that went down, and it ended up ruining my Iowa experience, and that was, I walked into the whole experience in Laughlin with that kind of a bias. Like, I wasn't expecting damned anything, honestly. I was ready to continue to hate the guy, and honestly, at this point, like, I don't still hate the guy, but I'm definitely not a fan of the CID guy, but I don't hate the guy anymore, like, if that makes sense. But, yeah, so I went into the party, and I was dressed for the costume contest, but I didn't actually participate, because I didn't participate. I was even wearing a wig, and, I mean, like, my whole costume was pretty freaking awesome. I wore the pink tacky shirt, and I had the, like, yellow houndstooth pants, like Al wore in the video, at the end of the tacky video, and, checkered Vans, and my wig was just kind of a standard black Halloween wig that I had, curled really meticulously, and spent probably a good 30 hours on, but I wore for all of half the thing right up until, like, midway through the costume contest. The costume contest was pretty awesome. There was a guy who dressed up like Rambo Al, and that was easily the coolest costume I've seen on any of the shows I've been to on the tour. Dude was built. Dude was awesome. Like, that costume deserved to win. That was another reason why I didn't participate in the costume contest, because as awesome as my costume was, if I had won, I would have kind of felt bad, because the Rambo costume deserved to win. But, yeah, so the party was fun. I did kind of glare the CID guy down during the, like, beginning part, because it didn't help that, like, as he was, like, going around singing to people at the beginning of the party, he was singing, like, probably my least favorite recent Al song, Jackson Park Express, but, like, that didn't help, but, like, it didn't help that he was who he is. So, I mean, I kind of glared him down, and I'm sure he probably didn't appreciate that, but at that point I was still kind of about him, so, I mean, the party was fun. There was a lot of interesting people. I got to meet some new friends, and I took a selfie with someone, and it was actually, like, I think that was probably the most fun I've had at any of those VIP parties. So, I mean, that was score. And then Um, went to the actual concert. I bought a new t-shirt because, how many Al t-shirts do I have? I totally needed more. Needed all the Al t-shirts, but I got the maroon The Saga Begins t-shirt, and I'm really happy to have that one. I haven't worn it yet. I'm thinking I'm going to wear it tomorrow, but I don't know. And then I went in and I found my seat, which, I was third row aisle seat, inside aisle seat, on the section on Kimo's side, and it was a really good seat. Like I had a really good view of the whole thing. I was seated pretty close to all the people I had just met at the party, and I was starting to make friends with those people, and it was really awesome. I got sung to during "Wanna Be Your Lover." That was pretty awesome. That's been pretty awesome each time that's happened, and that's the third time that's happened, I think. This time I got the line, "Do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk by again?" And that was I enjoyed that one. It wasn't quite as almost embarrassing. Last time that he sang to me during "Wanna Be Your Lover," it was almost kind of embarrassing. He sang 2 lines to me that time, and it was a lot of fun. But anyway, I digress. The rest of the concert was pretty damn amazing. The crowd, that fucking crowd, man. That was probably the best crowd I've been in this year. I mean, the Iowa crowd was pretty good, but the Vegas crowds were probably better than the Iowa one, and this one was pretty freaking great. The only other really damn good crowd I can think that I've been in was probably the very first concert I went to of Al's, and that one we were a really good loud crowd, but this one was really a lot of fun. Someone at the beginning of The Saga Begins, or towards the beginning of The Saga Begins, someone shouted out, "May the Force be with you!" And Al stopped and just kind of gave, this look what the fuck? And it was kind of beautiful. But at the end of the concert, I was considering just leaving, because, my Dayquil was starting to wear off, and I was definitely I was apprehensive about going to the meet and greet, particularly after Iowa. I don't want to go too deep into detail about Iowa, but suffice it to say, I'm incredibly embarrassed for a lot of what happened with the whole Iowa thing, and how I reacted to the whole Iowa thing, and I really honestly do still feel like a selfish little bitch of a fan for pretty much the entirety of the Iowa thing, but so I was really tempted to leave, but there were, I don't really know how to explain how I decided I was just going to stay for the meet and greet. So, I just did. And at first, while we were waiting for the meet and greet thing, I sat next to 2 of the people I had met, and we kind of gabbed. But then I decided, because it wasn't helping my nerves to sit with them, for whatever reason, it wasn't helping my nerves at all. Because, up until we got in line, I was freaking out. I was like, this isn't, no, I should have just left. But then I went and I sat more towards the back of the bleachers that we were sitting on, and just kind of sat and waited and talked with the other people I had met at the party a little bit, and I recounted what the CID guy had just told us all regarding the picture situation and all the meet and greet stuff, and since they had gone to go use the restroom or something, and sat and gabbed with them for a little bit, and then it was time to go get in line. And once I was in line, up until I was halfway through the line, I wasn't nervous at all. It was almost like in Iowa, because Iowa, fuck, the concert ended, I was like, damn, I'm ready for this shit, And that hadn't happened with me with any kind of meet and greet with Al. Like, every time I've met Al up until Iowa, which it was 3 times up until then, I'd gotten to, like, the front of the line, or near the front of the line, and I was just, like, freaking straight the fuck out, and then I clammed up, and I couldn't talk. And that's embarrassing as shit, but yeah. And then in Iowa, I was so ready to talk, and the CID guy wouldn't shut up. And so that kind of ruined it for me. But, like, there's a lot more about Iowa that I'm not saying that is a lot more of why I'm still kind of apprehensive about the CID guy. Like, if you really, really, really must know, go ahead and, like, comment on this video, and I will probably try to do the whole, like, send you the link to the private video, or the unlisted video, because I did do a 19-minute vlog about Iowa, but I never posted it because a good 10 minutes of it is me sobbing into the camera, and it just, and it, I don't know, that just, yeah, if you really must know more about Iowa, and you don't want to, like, you don't feel like Googling through, like, my Tumblr or any of my public Facebook posts, that's probably the easiest way to go, is just ask me for the link and I'll give it to you. But up until about halfway through the line, I was doing really pretty good. I was like, okay, yeah, this is good. I think I can actually make words today. This is, yeah, okay. Especially because I went into the meet and greet not expecting much, if anything. Like, I expected that I'd get, a picture, maybe get to ask for a hug, maybe get my VHS signed, and then, get the poster and maybe get to say, like, 1 or 2 words, give Al his art gift, and then leave. But as I was watching other people go through the meet and greet, I started getting a little hopeful that I could actually maybe have a slightly more meaningful little time with my idol, I mean, I wasn't trying to get my hopes up. I was really trying to just keep it low, like, keep the bar low for myself. But I got up to the front of the line, and, other people were having real reasonably longish meet and greets with him. But, the line was still moving. So, I mean, like, it wasn't like people were taking up huge amounts of time, but people were also not being rushed through the way I felt like rushed through at the other meet and greets. But I was going somewhere with this one. Where was I? Okay. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm getting, as I got about halfway through the line, I started actually getting nervous, because I was like, shit, we're actually kind of being given time to talk, and, like, time, what? So, I was starting to get nervous again, and got up to the front of the line, and it was, the CID guy got done taking the person ahead of me's picture, or the group ahead of me, I don't remember. God, I don't even remember. I don't remember who was in front of me, I don't remember if it was a single, if it was a couple, if it was my friends, or, I don't know. Like, that's how bad my memory is I've already started to forget so much about this shit, that I knew that if I didn't make this video now, I probably wouldn't ever actually get the video made. So, I mean, I got up to the front of the line, and the CID guy took the people or person ahead of me's picture and set their camera down or gave them back their camera, and he came over to address me, and I was like, shit. Because, like, the entire time, I had to operate under the idea that CID guy didn't recognize me. Like, that's just how I had to think in order to actually manage to do any of the VIP stuff. Because the complaint and the subsequent responses I sent to CID after Iowa, even knowing that my complaints were valid, I was incredibly embarrassed to have to excuse me, sorry, to have to say any of that, I need a drink. Sorry, guys. I'm, like, still getting over being sick, and it's just not... It's not working. But, I had to keep myself under the... Like, I wore the wig purely so that at the start I had a chance that if the CID guy was gonna recognize me, he wouldn't. But by midway through the party, like, it was too damn hot, you know? We were in the desert, so, I mean, like, even though we were inside, I was sick, and we were in the desert, so, I mean, I was way too warm, so I had to take that shit off. And, I mean, like, my hair is probably the most recognizable thing. My hair and my eyebrows are probably the most recognizable thing about me, you know? So, once my hair was visible, I knew there was a lot more of a chance that he was going to recognize me, but up until that meet and greet, I had to operate under the impression that the CID guy didn't recognize me, because otherwise I was going to just bolt, and I didn't want to just bolt, because it's Weird Al, like, it's a concert, you know, I spend a lot of money on that, and I mean, like, Weird Al is basically everything to me. But, so I had to operate under that assumption that he didn't recognize me, but then he took my camera, and he, you know, just, he was fairly short with me, but, I mean, that's understandable after the complaint I lodged, and the fact that I avoided him like the damn plague. But, you know, he wasn't, like, rude short with me, he was just short with me, because, I mean... And it was finally my turn, and it was just like when I went and saw Al in Joliet, Illinois. It was... I got to the front of the line, and my heart was just racing, and I every fiber of my being just wanted to bolt for the exit. Like, I didn't even care if I lost my camera at that point. I was ready to go. I was not about that life anymore. I was like, why did I decide to do this? And I had been texting with my friends the entire time, like, texting one of my friends, like, almost, even through the concert. Like, between songs, I would text my friends. And after the concert, I was Skyping with a couple of friends, like, on my mobile, and, I was like, I'm gonna do a thing, I'm gonna fucking talk to Al, yes! Oh crap, I'm not gonna do it. So, then, you know, it was finally my turn. And I approach the table, and as I open my mouth and I start saying, "Hi, Al," he looks at me, and his face just lights up, and, like, I can feel my knees buckling at that point, and he looks at me, and his face lights up, and he goes, "Oh, you're back! Hi! Oh, it's so good to see you!" And I seriously, I thought I was going to just pass out. Like, honestly, as, like, conceited or vain or whatever it might sound, I talked with my Weird Al friends, which, like, I don't know why I justify them as Weird Al friends instead of just my friends, but, I mean, I do have different sets of friends. I mean, I don't know, that stuff for a different video, but I had been talking with my Weird Al friends prior to, like, between the Iowa concert and this most recent concert, a fair amount about, like, just the stupid conceited notion that Al might recognize me, and, like, I kept insisting that if Al recognized me, I would just kind of drop dead to the ground, like, not actually dead, but, you know, like, pass out, like, just faint, just like, nope, I'm dead. That's it, I'm gone. And that very nearly happened. Like, honestly, I was really kind of glad that seemed like the thing we were all doing was kneeling next to Al at the table, which, honestly, I think that might be the only reason I actually managed to get any words out at all, because I was actually kind of on his level, and I don't know, but about him. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's almost like he's more intimidating when he's sitting and you're standing above him. I don't fucking get it. But that's how it feels to me. Like, he's more intimidating when I'm standing, he's sitting. But then, like, I was kneeling next to him and he was slightly taller than me because he was sitting, and he's, you know, taller than me to begin with. And so, like, anyway, so he goes, "It's so good to see you!" And he reaches out to hug me, and I'm like, what? Because, like, one of my biggest things, like, leading up to this concert was I really wanted to get another hug from Al. Because I've had 2 so far in my life, and, well, now 3, but I had 2 so far at that point. And I was like, what? I don't have to, what? I don't have to ask? So, I mean, I hugged him, and he was... He's so ridiculously soft, you guys. Like, I'm sorry, I'm really damn emotional about the whole meet and greet thing, and this whole year has just been so amazing. But, so I hugged him, and then I knelt next to him, and he told me that he still has my artwork on the bus, and I was like, oh my god, wow. Like, I wanted to get more, like, I wanted to be more articulate, but that's all I could fucking say. I was having such a hard time finding my voice again. Like, it took me so off guard that I was just like, what? So, you know, I knelt next to him, and I was clutching the folder full of artwork I had for him, and my VHS of the 1999 concert, so tight that there are actually nail marks in the back of the VHS. Like, in the back of the case for the VHS. There are nail marks from where I was holding on to that thing. But, so I knelt next to him, and I told him, I have a gift for you! And I know I stammered that shit, because I was so, like, I was overjoyed, but I was also just so damn nervous at that point, because I was like, shit, Al recognizes me, oh my god, what? And so, you know, fuck, I'm sorry. So, I handed him the folder, and he was like, oh, yay! Like, that's not how he reacted, but I really, honestly, at this point, I can't remember his reaction, like, his exact reaction, but I know he was like, excited, and he took the folder, and he looked through the folder while I was sitting there next to him, and he just kept saying, oh, wow, and thank you so much, and I know he commented that, oh, that's really good, on one of them, but I don't remember which fucking one it was. And, he flipped to the last one, which was a picture I had drawn of him and his wife. Just, you know, being cute, kind of cuddly on a couch, because that's, I don't know, that, I had gotten a really, really nice, prompt from Hannah, for Al with a man bun, and it somehow turned into him and Suzanne as serious hipsters. So I was like, okay, there we go. Like, just adorably fucking cute little hipsters. And I ended up giving him that one because it turned out pretty good. Like, I drew Suzanne pretty good. Like, not to toot my own horn on that, but yeah. And he said, like, I'm pretty sure he said thank you so much to the art gift probably like 6 or 7 times, and I was like, oh my god. Like, it was like he read my blog or something, and I'm sure he didn't. But I had like a list of things that I was hoping for with that meet and greet. Like, I didn't think they would actually happen, but it was like a list of shit that I really wanted to happen at that meet and greet, and it all fucking happened. And I seriously... So after he opened the art, the CID guy took pictures. He took 2 pictures. The first one didn't turn out very well because my camera had turned off, because my camera is kind of a piece of crap. And, it auto-offs after, I think, a minute. And, I'm sorry, I gotta wipe my nose. It's dripping, and it's just, I'm gross, you guys. But, anyway. So, after the art gift, the CID guy took the picture, Al put his arm around my shoulders, and I was like, like, that entire fucking meet and greet, I was just internally screaming. Like, it was hard enough to find my voice to actually make any words happen that without the addition of the fucking internal screaming. But, like, the entire time, I was just internally, like, my entire internal monologue was just, ah! Except we're not quite that high-pitched. It was a lot more of, like, actual me screaming in my head. But, so, you know, I put my arm around Al, too, and took first picture kind of sucked because we ended up having to sit and hold a smile for too long, so it kind of, like, Al's face is pretty fucking priceless in that one. Like, he's still kind of smiling with his eyes, but like, the rest of his face is like, no. And I'm like, take the picture. And then, you know, I was like, I think you've got your finger on the flash to the CID guy, and he, like, moved both his hands to a point where I thought he was gonna drop my camera. But he didn't. But, like, just the way he was, like, fumbling with my camera, like, oh shit, but you're right. And took the second picture. The second picture turned out so much better. Second picture is honestly, like, my favorite picture. Period. It's beautiful. It's lovely. It's wonderful. It's more than I ever expected for a picture. Because after that complaint, honestly, I expected the CID guy to maybe just kind of meh, and then, you know, toss my camera on the table and wait for the next person or whatever. But the CID guy, he actually showed a bit of concern. Like, he was like, okay, that picture didn't turn out very well. We're gonna take another one, and took that second one, and that second one is easily my favorite picture, like, in existence that involves me. And yeah. So then, I think it was then that Al signed my poster. He turned and he asked if I wanted it signed to me or someone else, and I said, to me. Like, for a second I considered maybe being nice and getting it signed to Burr's boyfriend, Jason, because I know Jason's also a Weird Al fan, but I mean, if I had, I wouldn't have the almost complete Al wall for the year. It's only missing three things technically, which is my ticket, my wristband, and my VIP badge from Laughlin. But I mean, it's almost complete for the year, and it's actually more of an Al wall again than just kind of a weird amalgamation of stuff I like, but yeah. And so he signed my poster, and it was pretty awesome. Then I asked him if he would sign my VHS, and he said, "Oh, of course." And he took my VHS and he signed it. And excuse me, sorry guys. Handed that back to me, and I went to start standing up, and I remembered that I had not yet said my words. And I was damn sure I was going to get those 16 words out this time. So I managed to fucking squeak them out. Like, at first it was a very squeaky little voice, but I actually managed to, like, somehow get my voice to sound semi-normal as I told him, that I wanted to thank him because CNR, back in 2009, his song CNR had saved my life. And his reaction caused me to get this, like, total deer in the headlights, like, holy crap, what? Face going. And, like, I really honestly wish I would have gotten a picture of that. But the CID guy had already handed me back my camera and, like, almost concerned asked if that was okay, and I was like, yeah, that's fine, without even looking at the pictures. So, I mean, shit, they could have been the most blurry, obnoxious, terrible pictures on the face of the planet. They're not. They're actually really damn good pictures, but, like, at that point, like, I was already on cloud 9, I didn't really care. But I told Al what I had wanted to tell Al since before I actually learned I was going to have the chance to meet him the very, very first time, way back in 2012, in June of 2012, or 2013 rather. 2012, like, sorry, 2013. It was June of 2013, but way the fuck back in June of 2013. I've wanted to say it to him since then, and like I did include it in my letter with the art I had given him at the Iowa show, but I don't know. Even though I had no real reason to not think Al would read my letter, I didn't think Al would read my letter. So I told him my thing, and he just kind of looked at me like confused. He was like, "Didn't you tell me this last time?" And I was like, "Shit, words, Emma, form words, form words, explain, say something, say anything, you fucking idiot, say something." And I was like, I think it was in my letter. Oh yeah, because I read that. I was like, well, yay? Like I couldn't. My brain was gone at that point. At that point, I kind of felt a bit embarrassed for even having brought it up. And I felt more embarrassed because the letter I gave him this time said the exact same thing. I mean, it had more, like, it had other different stories, but it had that in there too. But, I mean, I don't know, I'm really honestly very grateful to him for that. So, I mean, that's not that embarrassing, but, so, you know, I told him that, and I was just kind of, fuck. And he said, thank you, you know, I really appreciate hearing that, and, like, that made me feel a little bit better than I was, because I was just kind of deer in the headlights, like, oh my god, fuck, why did you say that, Emma? And so, I thanked him for, you know, the little time at the meet and greet, and I picked up my stuff, and I was on my way. I said bye, and then I walked out of the venue, and as I was walking across, the venue to the exit, like, it hit me all of what had happened, and I started just sobbing. I mean, I was crying so hard, and, like, it just, I don't know, I don't even know if it's honestly irony, but it felt ironic at that point that 2 concerts in a row I would leave crying, but the second time I was actually crying out of happiness and not out of just desperate sadness. And I tried to vlog the second I got out of the venue, but my fucking camera battery died. So I got like 15 seconds of raw emotion before my camera died, and I was like, damn it. But, it still feels so surreal that Al Yankovic recognized me. Like, it's really fucking surreal. Like, that it still hasn't quite registered, I don't think. I don't know that it's ever actually going to register with me, and it just, I was hoping so hard that this trip to Laughlin would be better than my last trip had been, which had been to Iowa, and then Michigan. And, I mean, that last trip had been just so, like, it had been terrible, and then kind of great, and then, like, just terrible because I was going through, I have to wipe my nose again, I'm sorry. Oh. My nose just keeps running, and it's like, I think part of it's because I'm almost crying right now, but after Iowa and Michigan and, like, the 18-hour straight panic attack, well, not quite panic attack, it was an anxiety attack I had after publishing that complaint and, you know, posting it to CID and posting it to Al's Facebook, because I have terrible impulse control, so if enough people tell me something's a good idea, I will very likely do it. And that's kind of what happened with the complaint and Al's Facebook. But I do want to make it clear that I wasn't complaining about Al. I was complaining about the CID guy, and I was bringing that to Al's attention at the behest of other people. But after that, I had 18-hour panic attack or anxiety attack, however you want to call it. And I mean, I was shaking. I was so terrified, nervous after all of that. And I mean, that last trip in July was just, it was terrible. And then to go and just have such a 180 from that. To go from that to fucking Laughlin. And just, it was like night and day. I never expected that. I never expected any of what happened in Laughlin. Like, at very, very most, I expected to hopefully be able to ask for a hug. Like, that was my big thing, was I wanted to make sure I hopefully maybe got a hug before the end of the tour. Because, I mean, who knows when next, But it exceeded my expectations all around, and I'm so happy. Like, I'm beyond happy. I'm beyond overjoyed. I'm thrilled. I cry a lot about it. It just goes to show how fucking obsessed I am with how much I've cried about this recently. But I mean, the concert and the party and the meet and greet on September 18th of 2015 that was easily the best night of my life so far. And I can't thank Al enough for that. That really made me feel special, and I'm very glad that I stuck with it, and I went to the meet and greet, and I'm really, really thrilled with myself that I have finally gotten over some of my shyness with Al, and I can maybe, hopefully, next time, if there is a next time, that I get to, like, meet him, or, whatever, talk to him for a couple of minutes or whatever, that hopefully next time I won't be quite such a stuttering little lunatic, and I might actually be able to form more than one coherent thought. And I also have found, since the events of Friday night, that if I don't ever have that chance again, I'm completely content with that. I'm happy. I'm thrilled, really. I'm so overjoyed that I've had 5 experiences with my hero, and I mean, I'm thrilled, I'm beyond thrilled that I've been to 9 concerts so far, and I've had 5 times where I've gotten to have pictures with him, and gotten to, attempt to squeak out even, like, 1 or 2 random words, even if it was just, can I have a hug? Or, I made something for you here. Like, I'm so overjoyed for the fact that I've gotten to do that at all. And, I mean, getting recognized this most recent time, that was like the icing on the cake. Like, I never expected that to happen, and, I mean, I've never expected... Like, honestly, in 2.5 years, I've gone from figuring that Al's probably too famous for me to ever actually get to meet, to actually having met him 5 times. I would never have expected that. Like, I can't think of a time in my life where I would actually have thought that someone like me would get that kind of a chance. At all. Ever. I mean, in the 2.5 years since I've gotten back to being a like seriously obsessed fan. I need a drink again. Sorry, guys. In the 2.5 years since I've started really obsessing again, my life has changed so much for the better. And I mean, prior to June 23rd, 2013, I was planning on killing myself again. Like, I was planning my suicide again. Like, I had been out of a proper job for months. I was working a job that I hated. That was basically slave labor. And I was going nowhere, and my life was going nowhere, and I was ready to be done. And then I got that email in May of 2013 that Al was going to be doing a book signing for his new children's book, My New Teacher and Me. And he was going to be, like, in Minnesota. And I was like, there's no fucking way he's going to be anywhere near here. I don't think the email said that he was going to be in Minnesota, but, like, I was figuring, closest he's going to get is, like, Chicago. There's no fucking way. But I'll look anyway. So, I mean, I opened that email that day, and come to find out a month from when I got that email, Al was going to be not only in Minnesota, not only within driving distance of where I live, but in a city, in a place that I've been to so many times through my life because my mom worked in that damn city for 19 and a half years, or probably more, but I remember 19 years. But, like, she had worked there for ages, and, like, for most of my life, more than most of my life, like, so much of my life. So, I mean, like, he was going to be 15 minutes away. There was no way I was going to miss that, you know? Like, I figured if I was going to, end my life, what better way to send myself off than by getting to meet my idol, just once. Just getting to meet my idol once. I figured, why the fuck not? So, I mean, I ended up bringing Burry to the meet and greet there, or, the book signing there, and she abandoned my ass at the table, which, thanks, Burr, thanks. Really, thanks a lot for that one. But that meet and greet, I wasn't, my god, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just rambling on and on and on. But that meet and greet versus my most recent one, like, it's not even like I'm the same person. Like, it's not even like that person, that Emmeline is even the same Emmeline as this Emmeline, It's not even like I could have evolved from that to this, I barely was able to squeak out half a sentence at Al at that meet and greet book signing thing. Like, I got up to the front of the line, and I handed him my book, and I watched him sign my book, and he asked me if my shirt at that point, or like that book signing, he asked if my shirt was a Doctor Who reference, and I was like, uh-huh. And I somehow managed to squeak out that I had been wanting to meet him for like 12 years, and I mean, the way he stopped signing my book and looked up at me like, what? He signed, he shook my hand that day, and I mean, and at the meet, like, when we got, oh, excuse me. But when it was time for a picture with that, at that one, he pulled me closer, like, he put his arm around me, he pulled me close, I was like, oh my god. And I was so terrified. I had my arm around him like that time. I was just I was so terrified and just so happy. And then that same feeling, it's that exact same feeling, that was what hit me at this most recent meet and greet. And I feel like I've come full circle. And it's just... If by some really random, super stupid coincidence or something, Al happens to watch this, which I honestly don't think, but if by some weird coincidence he does, thank you, Al. Because, just thank you. Since 2009, I've pretty much lived for the sole reason of I've wanted to see what Al would do next. And now I don't really think that's why I'm still alive. Now it's more of I want to see what happens next, just in general. And I want to see another Weird Al concert. I want to see another, 12 Weird Al concerts. I want to get to meet all my Weird Al friends. I've made so many friends since 2013, since that book signing, that, I've never in my life thought that any of this would be possible, I didn't think I would actually ever have friends that understand the obsession. I never thought I would have friends that got it, I've always had friends Burr, who, they get it, but they don't get it. They're not, ankle deep in the obsession themselves, so, I never thought that would happen. I never thought there would come a time where my idol would recognize me. I never thought any of this would be possible, I never thought I would travel outside of my own state for a Weird Al concert, and now I've done that for 5 different concerts, and I never thought I would make... I never thought I would make so many friends that, are also Weird Al fans. I never thought any of us... I never thought. I expected that I would go through life continuing to be a complete outcast because of, my love for Weird Al. That's how I've existed up until age, what was that? I was 24, I think? 23, 24? I don't even remember. But I thought that life would continue to be like that, where, I'd have friends who kind of got it, but didn't get it, and, it's still overwhelming to think about the fact that, now, instead of just kind of fangirling in semi-silence and, fangirling to myself and keeping it solely on my blog and not ever getting any kind of notes or anything on anything that I talk about regarding Al, I thought that would be it. Whereas now, I've got people who reblog my fan art of Al, and, freak out about it, and I've got people who, at any point during the day or night, there's almost always at least one person I can, message on Facebook or Skype or Twitter, and I can be like, oh my god, I'm fangirling so hard about Al right now, and they'll be like, oh my god, I know, right, me too. Or I can talk about something random, some random stupid interview I saw, and they'll be like, oh my god, I know that too, do you remember, minute 3 of that? And we'll just, geek out for hours. But I never thought that would be possible, and, it's all still so overwhelming, but it's a good kind of overwhelming,